Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to our revision session today. We're going to be looking at a very important topic from your English grammar syllabus, adjectives. Let's make it really simple and clear for you. I know your exams are just around the corner, and sometimes all these grammar rules can feel a little bit confusing. But you know what? Don't worry at all. In this session, we're going to cover everything, clear up all those common doubts, and make sure you feel totally confident and prepared. All right, let's start right at the beginning with the basics. What exactly is an adjective? Well, the easiest way to think about it is that it's a describing word. Its main job is to tell us something more about a noun or a pronoun. For example, if I say a cruel master, the word cruel is describing the master. It's adding to the meaning. So how do you find an adjective in a sentence? It's actually quite easy. All you have to do is ask these simple questions about the noun. Let's try it out. If we have the phrase, a brave boy, and we ask, what kind of boy? The answer is brave. What about two hands? How many hands? Two. Or my book. Whose book is it? It's my book. You see? Brave, two, and my are all adjectives. Simple, right? This chart here gives us a really nice summary of the main kinds of adjectives. Let's quickly go through them. First up, we have adjectives of quality. They answer the question, what kind? For example, an honest boy. Next, adjectives of quantity, which tell us how much, like some salt. Then we have adjectives of number, which answer how many, like two hands. Demonstrative adjectives, like these or that, are used to point things out. Interrogative adjectives, like which, are used to ask questions. And finally, possessive adjectives show who something belongs to, like our house. Okay, so we know what adjectives are, but have you ever wondered where they come from? It's actually quite interesting. A lot of adjectives are just formed from other words like nouns and verbs by adding a little something at the end. Let's see how. This table shows it perfectly. Look, we can take a noun like beauty, add the suffix full, and we get the adjective beautiful. Or take a verb like talk, add itive, and it becomes talkative. Now, here's a little tip for your exam. If you see a word like national, try to find its root word. What is the noun here? That's right, it's nation. Understanding this connection is great for grammar, and it also really helps you build your vocabulary. All right, let's move on to a very, very important topic for your exams, degrees of comparison. You see, we don't just use adjectives to describe something, we also use them to compare things. And there are three main ways we can do this. Just look at this picture. It explains the idea so well. On the left, we see an old man. This is a simple description, just talking about one person. In the middle, it says, an older man. Now we're comparing him to someone else. And on the right, we have the oldest man, which means he's being compared to a whole group of people. This shows us the three degrees, positive, comparative, and superlative. So just to revise the official terms, the positive degree simply describes one thing. He is a tall boy. The comparative degree is used to compare two things. It usually ends in or we use the word more. For example, he is taller than his brother. And the superlative degree compares more than two things. It usually ends in est, or we use the word most, like in, he is the tallest in the class. Now, please pay close attention. This is a very, very important rule, and it's a place where a lot of mistakes happen in exams. When you use a comparative adjective, you must use the word than after it. And when you use a superlative adjective, you must put the article the right before it. Always remember, taller than and the tallest. Please make a note of this. And just one more quick reminder about comparisons. When we want to say that two things are equal, we use the structure as with the positive form of the adjective. For example, she is as clever as her sister. But if we're making a negative comparison, we usually use so as. She's not so clever as you think. All right, let's move on to some common stumbling blocks. We're going to look at some pairs of adjectives that often cause a bit of confusion. But the good news is the rules are actually quite simple once you get the hang of them. First up, we have some and any. The rule here is very straightforward. We use some in positive or affirmative sentences. For example, I have some chocolates. And we use any in negative sentences, like I do not have any chocolates, and also when we're asking a question, like do you have any chocolates? Next, we have much and many. The choice here depends completely on the noun. Is the noun countable or uncountable? Can you count it? If the answer is yes, then you use many.
many books, many friends. If you can't count it, you use much water, much sadness. Always ask yourself that question, can I put a number in front of this word?
Now let's look at some pairs that look similar but have slightly different meanings. These are definite exam favorites for fill-in-the-blank questions, so listen carefully. It's all about understanding the meaning. Okay, let's start with little, a little, and the little. We use these with uncountable nouns, like water or hope. Now, little has a negative meaning. Think of it as almost none. There is little hope of his recovery. But a little is positive. It means there is a small amount, but at least there is some. There is a little hope. And finally, the little refers to the whole amount, whatever is there, even if it's small. He spent the little money he had.
And you know what? The words few, a few, and the few follow the exact same logic. The only difference is that we use them for countable nouns, like friends or books. So few has a negative meaning. Few people came for the party. A few is positive. A few of my friends came. And the few means all of them. The few friends I have are very dear to me. So when you see these words, always ask yourself, is the meaning positive or negative?
Now for elder versus older, this is a very specific rule. Elder and eldest are used only for members of the same family, like your own brother or sister. For example, my elder sister is a doctor. For all other people and for things, we must use older and oldest. Ram is older than Sham, or this is the oldest temple in the city. And finally, a pair that often gets mixed up, later and latter. Later, that's L-A-T-E-R with one T, is always about time. For example, I will call you later. But latter, spelled with a double T, refers to the second of two things that you have just mentioned. For instance, if I say, between tea and coffee, I prefer the latter. The latter here means coffee, which was the second option. We're almost at the end of our revision now, so let's quickly cover a few special rules that you must keep in mind. These are the ones that will help you score those full marks. Look at these words on the screen: senior, junior, superior, inferior. All these adjectives that end in R have a special rule. They are always followed by the preposition to, never by than. So you must say, he is senior to me, not senior than me. This is a very common exam trap, so please remember it. And then there are some adjectives that, by their very meaning, cannot be compared. Words like unique, perfect, or complete. Think about it. Something cannot be more unique or most perfect. It's either perfect or it's not. So these adjectives don't have comparative or superlative forms. And this brings me to the single most important piece of advice I can give you for any grammar question. Please don't just look at the blank space and guess an answer. Always, always read the whole sentence. Try to understand its meaning and its context. Grammar is all about logic. The clues are always right there in the sentence itself. And just like that, we have revised the entire chapter of adjectives. You have covered the definition, the different kinds, the degrees of comparison, and all those special rules. You know the rules now. You are well prepared. So just stay calm, read the questions carefully, and trust everything that you have learned. Best of luck for your exams.